Let's go, drinks on Dusty, let's start the show. Drinks on Dusty, coming in hot, coming in to blow up the spot. The guests be picking, what we be drinking, we don't know what Dusty is thinking. We are here to have a good time, see where the convo may just climb. Sit back, put your drinks up, go on y'all, fill up your cup. Drinks on Dusty, let's go. Come on y'all, start the show. Oh no. Woo! What is it? What's to the right of you? What is that? Yeah, the pictures, not the corner of the wall, Liz.
I was like, what?
That's a corner, Dustin. Okay, all
right. These are like old movie stars. So that one, this woman is Vivian Lee from Gone with the Wind. That's Clark Gable from Gone with the Wind.
No, Clark Gable.
That's the bottom is Katharine Hepburn. And then up top, I have, what the fuck?
You don't even know the names of the people on the
I
wall.
do know. Fred Astaire. Yep. I was thinking Frank Sinatra. I'm like, that's not his name. And then, yeah, I'm a mess. And then Betty Davis is up top. And then I also have a picture of Marlon Brando.
Ooh, so Marlon Brando. Yeah. Okay, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7. I had to count these before I got on. Episode 7 of the Drinks on Dusty podcast. I'm your host, Dusty, and today I have a very special guest. She is a woman I care about deeply. She is a multi-talented actress, musician. She sings like a goddess. She's literally the best singer I know. She's beautiful. She's just the incomparable. I don't know if that's the right word.
It is. That's a good word.
Is that a good word? Okay. I get really excited when I say big words, honestly. And I'm like, hey, you got that one. Good job, buddy. But it is Liz Fickthorn. So Liz, woo! Liz, so today we're drinking. And I think what I want to read this quote verbatim. We are... when asked you filled out, actually this has been the funniest way that anyone's filled out the form. It made me laugh like the whole time. Yes. White Claw, it's a basic girl's beverage, and you could say I'm pretty basic. I love mango, but I also think it's appropriate for me to have lime White Claw because I'm a slut for lime with Croy.
You know what's so funny too? I got mango because I'm an asshole.
Wait, I have mango. Did you get a variety? I got the variety pack.
I got.
Or did you just get strictly mango? Because I'm about to try all these different flavors I've never had.
I have a variety pack in there, and then I also just got mango because I love it so much.
We like to have like a surplus of the mango. So why are we picking White Claw today? Other than it's the basic drink. Does it describe?
Honestly, it's just like. Yeah, it's just like what I've been drinking recently, I think, more than anything. And because it's hot as like, I don't even know what, as balls, as a mother, you know what, as like whatever you want to say. It's like refreshing.
It is really, I feel like anytime I walk outside now, I sweat like fucking 8 puddles.
Yeah, I'm disgusting
like,
all the time.
What is that? Why? I feel like we should be used to that being from Nebraska. Like, is the humidity worse? I don't know. I don't know anything about the weather. I'm not a weatherman. I don't know anything about the weather.
No, yeah. I don't know, but it's I hate it. And
I hate it too.
Like I just went on the subway. This is hilarious. I just went on the subway for the first time yesterday since I've been back in August.
I did that yesterday too when I went to see Greg uptown. That was the first time I've been in since March. But.
Yeah. So I avoided taking the subway for a month because I was also like #anxiety we love, but then I took it yesterday. Yeah,
anxiety's a real thing. If you have anxiety, I don't think it's funny. Okay, just want to throw it out.
All right. Well, yes, it's not funny. It's a thing.
To my millions of followers, I would say that. Okay. Anyway,
simply. But no, I avoided it for like a month because I was like, I'm not going on that dirty, crusty ass subway, like not even a little bit. And then yesterday, Chase needed to go somewhere and I was like, I'll go with you, whatever. I'll go on the subway, fine. I'll save money. It's fine.
Wait, are you just like Ubering? I guess if you're not going too many places, but are you just like Ubering, you taking cars and stuff?
Yeah. And that's racked up.
That can rack up real quick in New York City. Like anything can, but Ubering can be real pain.
Yeah, I just checked a couple things. I just checked my credit card statement because I've been putting them on my credit card. And I was like,
ballsy move.
Oh no, we got to stop. Girl, you got to stop.
Girl, we're done here.
We are done. But the second thing I was going to say was going back to the subway. First of all, it's clean. So like,
it is
yes,
clean.
New York
way
City.
Way cleaner than it was when I was on it a while ago.
Yeah. I'm also like, the first thought I said, I turned to Chase and I was like, it's really clean in here. And I feel like it should be like this all the time. Like this shouldn't have been a problem.
We didn't need a global pandemic to realize that the subways should just not be hideously dirty.
Yeah. And like trash everywhere. Like whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like I saw on average, like at least a few beer cans, like a diaper, like some snacks, like just weird shit on the subway all the time. And I was like, what are you people doing? Like there are trash cans literally right outside. Can you not wait?
I think that there's people that just have the mindset in New York where people are like, you're going to have to take it anyway, so fuck it. Like it's just, they know you have to take the subway.
It's like out of spite. Like they're doing it just to be jerks.
They literally are just like, fuck this shit. People got to take the subway anyway. They're going to just look and hate this, but they're going to take it. And
honestly, I'm here for that. I'm here for that energy. That's like some big dick energy. I love that.
Something.
Sure. Like, why not?
All right. So let's start our journey. Our journey, Liz. Liz, we met in college. So you were a freshman.
I was a freshman.
I will tell my side of the story first. We met in a basement at a theater party, and shout out to you. You are the only girl that has ever taken a hat off the top of my head, which is legit top 5 of my pet peeves. Is if someone takes my hat off my head. You took my hat off my head, put it on, and didn't do anything. Just was like, pretty girl took hat, it's fine. And I was okay with it. But you said that and again, I got a quote because you said this is what I said, that I went up to you and described myself as a big deal. Is that real, or are you just being an asshole? Because
no,
I'm not saying that I didn't do it, because it definitely seems like something I would do. And I want to say this is Dustin charm, but if you want to tell the story about when we met, that would be awesome. Whatever you recall from it.
Okay, yeah. So first and foremost, I was #sloshed at the party that I met you. I don't remember taking your hat, but I'm really happy I did. That's hilarious.
That's the one thing I do remember was I remember the hat. It was.
Wow, that's unfortunate for me. That's a solid brownout for me. Because I remember meeting you at that party. I fully remember meeting you. I just don't remember any of the events that happened throughout. But anyway, no, that particular moment, I distinctly remember I was hanging out with you at Zeta Psi, and you were practicing lines. I was helping you with lines from Antigone.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember how it got brought up or like what happened, whatever. But I do remember you at one point saying to me like, yeah, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal in this department. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, did you say like, okay, guy, or was it because you said wide-eyed freshman in your like sentence, but
yeah. So like part of me was like, oh, maybe. I mean, like I didn't know anything. I was like, I bet he is a big deal. Like I don't know.
That is such a douchey thing to say. That's such a douche. But hey, when you're trying to impress a girl, Don't call me. Hey, don't call me douche. Don't call me
You're not
douche.
a douche. You're not a douche. I don't think you are.
But at this time in my life, which is part that got brought up in another podcast, but in this part of my life, I had very douchey tendencies. But yes, I would assume that I definitely did say that to you. But
You definitely did.
But I remember I texted you like how many years after that, but I showed you the messages from Facebook I sent to you to get your phone number. Yes. And I just want to say, hey, I had some moves. It worked. I got her phone number. It's fucking, that shit made me laugh. But another story you brought up, I think I kind of remember this, but and I actually think this is Nate Hoggett. This is the only person I could think of, but I do remember us being in my room with fraternity, and then someone just barged in. And what were they talking about? They talking about Titanic?
The Titanic.
What would they do with it?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Okay. I thought you remembered the whole thing. I was like, I want to know.
I kind of remember the whole thing. I just remember like being in there and like I was like half asleep or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just doing my thing, and then some frat bro barges in, and I was like, this is chill. Okay.
This is legit the thing I hated the most about living in fraternity, yes.
Yeah, and he went into your closet. I feel like it was Chase, what's his name?
Roberts?
Chase Roberts.
Oh God, I don't like that guy at all.
I feel like it was maybe
it was, I don't know.
I literally can't remember. Nate Hoggett, like, was definitely around. I don't know if he was one of the ones that barged in, but there was someone that barged in, went into your closet, and just like started spouting out shit about the Titanic. And I was like, I was sitting there, I sat up and I was like, are you serious right now? Like, is this really happening to me?
Was I just sitting there looking at the situation? I don't even know what I would do.
I think you were asleep. I literally like don't remember what the fuck you were doing, but I was like, wait.
Liz just dealt with random people coming into my room the entire time.
I mean, it was very loud, and like I guess I'm kind of a heavy sleeper, but also not at all. So like it woke me up and I was like, hello? The lights are off. What's wrong with you?
Why are you fucking in here? That was, oh God, I hated that. So you're an actress, and you have kind of always done theater since you were younger, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, Nebraska is a theatrical wasteland for the most part. So
very
like,
much so.
There's not much there.
We need a billionaire to literally come in there and start something. Literally. Like, seriously, honestly.
Yes. I will say I do have like, there's a new company that I'm really excited about that I'm doing stuff for when I get home. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway.
Well, you better remember because I forget shit pretty easily.
I'll remember. I'll try. Anyway. But yeah, so when I was younger, I just like always, my parents were both in theater and they like did theater and like all of that stuff.
I didn't know your parents were, so you kind of grew up with it throughout?
Yeah, well, they didn't do theater, they were teachers, right? But they did theater in college. Funny enough, they both went to Wesleyan. They met in college.
So they both went to our school and that's so cute. Oh shit.
Yeah,
hey, shout out to Liz's mom and dad. That's fucking awesome.
Diane and Dutch, they are the MVPs.
Fucking, your mom is, I've never met your dad, I don't think, but your mom is an amazing human. That's incredible. I didn't know they met they're Prairie Wolves and they met at our school. That's awesome. Oh yeah. That's so cool.
There's like, I don't even know if Wesleyan owns the rehearsal house anymore. I'm not sure what exactly is happening with that, but
I've drove past it a few times.
Back in the day when we like used it, my dad, I think, and my mom too, their names are like on plaques on the walls somewhere in the rehearsal house. So.
Yeah, there are. Oh, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Liz is apparently, I didn't put this in my intro, Liz is Nebraska Wesleyan royalty. That's awesome. Was there something that first like clicked with you with loving theater and wanting to perform? Or was it mostly like just your parents were teaching you and then you just kind of got into it?
Yeah. My parents bought my sister and I the VHS tape to Cats, the musical. And I 100% was watching those people and I was like, this is what I have to do. Like, I don't know why. I just knew. I was like, this is 100% like, I know I either want to be a cat, I guess, or a performer, and I'm not really sure which one it is, but like, I'll go with it. Sure.
It's like one of the other things that would be more plausible. The theater is more plausible than you being a cat. So you made a better career choice in that situation.
Exactly. Like,
you're gonna be a cat. But
exactly. Yeah. But then I also saw Phantom of the Opera when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And I can still, like, literally, I can still see flashes of that particular show at the Orpheum in my mind. And I remember sitting on my mom's lap the whole time because I was kind of scared. And I was like, oh, this is scary, like, whatever. But I also knew watching that show, I was like, this is it. This
is it. And that's like your favorite musical, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I would say, like, as I've grown, for sure, I've realized that Phantom is not for everyone. It's an acquired taste. That's fine, whatever.
If you're not watching, rolls her eyes. So if you don't think that, you can go fuck yourself. If you do think that, fuck off. Whatever.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I've also realized, like, it's an incredible, like, groundbreaking show. But I also kind of have, like, shifted interests as well throughout my life. So it's in my top. It'll forever be in my top because it means so much to me. But, like,
okay, well, I definitely have this as one of my questions later on the day. But what are, like, if you had to put like a top 5, what would be your top 5? Because I fucking love top 5s anything, and I want to know what your top
shows.
5. Yeah, if you had to, like, are they just musicals or are they like shows in general?
Oh man,
let's just say musicals, just to make it easier on you.
All right, yeah.
I legit, Liz, have top 5 everything in my, like, I have top. If you go, what's your top 5 favorite dogs? I could give you a top 5 list.
What are your go off? I want to hear your top.
Literally,
5 dogs.
Golden Retrievers number 1, Labs number 2, hunting labs. My dad was a hunter. Corgis number 3. And I have now because my sister has long-haired Chihuahuas, and I've always hated Chihuahuas, but that specific breed,
they're cute.
Oh yeah, Delilah and Roxy, shout out. Oh, they're 10 years old, and my sister's gonna cry, Liz. Oh God, that's their, but like them, and then I would go German Shepherd. Jesus Christ. Right? But yeah, see, pretty quick to just top 5 of it. That's really weird. I think really weird. But do you have like top 5 shows on the top of your head, or is that something?
Yeah. I think my number 1 right now is a show that Chase can even show.
The amount of times that Chase has been brought up it's just funny as fuck to me. But like Chase is literally, since his episode, like he was my second guest, every episode since then has Chase been mentioned. It's so funny to me. Shout out to him.
He's amazing.
Hey,
also,
Chase,
I mean, like,
he's next door, right? He's next door.
No, he's not. This is the thing, is I was like, Chase, you should like come in and be just like,
I was thinking about texting him, like, hey, you gonna pop in, Chase? What's going on?
Yes. And then he was like, oh, I'm meeting up with a couple friends at this bar. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, just ruin my life. It's fine. Like, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, so the shows. Chase showed me this show like last year, and I have since been obsessed with it. Like, I literally have dreamt about being in England and performing in the show because it's only been on the West End and like one other place before the West End. But it's called The Grinning Man, and it's like based off of a different Victor Hugo who wrote Les Miserables, the original book to Les Mis. It's based off of a different novel of his called The Man Who Laughs, which the Joker from Batman, that's what he's based off of. So it's this whole musical chronicle. Yeah, I know. It's just like a lot. But it's this whole musical going through this man who's like been deformed with like facial shit. And then it goes through like his journey or whatever. And there's one particular part, his like love interest in the show is like this blind girl named Dea. And she, I would just like kill to be that part. It's just like amazing. The music's amazing. Shout out to that show.
Yeah, that's not I mean, I'm not the person to know any musical ever, as you know, but like,
Right.
that's not I would say not a well-known show. It's not on Broadway. Anyone thinks that anyone that's not on Broadway is not a musical, which is just stupid.
It's,
but,
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But, well, that sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
And
that's
you're really in love with
one.
were you really in love with the character and that's what made you love the show? Or was it the music that kind of...
It was really the music and how different it was. Like I
want to talk to you about music because I don't know it, but like I don't understand it. But like what was different about it? What makes the music in a musical different?
I think like currently where our industry is at right now specifically is like super like in a pop rock genre, right? Like it's just all contemporary and fun, and that 100% has its place. People who sing that really, really well, I'm like, pop the fuck off. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Go at it. Like, it's not my thing. That's not what I do really well. So I'm kind of like cheering from the sidelines, like, please do it. And I'm going to go do something else. But The Grinning Man, for being created within the past, like, I don't know when it was created, but like in the past 10 years, let's say, it just has like a really macabre and dark and like interesting and beautiful orchestration and like melodies, and like the songs are just so unique and like unlike anything I've heard presently within the musical theater like world, I guess. Like it's if you compare it like with something like Dear Evan Hansen versus The Grinning Man, it's like, what? These were made in the same time period? Like, hello? So it's just super cool. And like they also, I'm just so obsessed with this show. They also
go off, girl.
Puppetry. Like it's the same
they put puppetry into the show.
Into the show, yeah. So it's the same people that did War Horse, and like War Horse won all those awards and everything for the incredible puppetry and whatever with the horse and so on.
Never saw that actually. Fuck.
I didn't either, but I'm assuming it was great since it won stuff.
Did good, but
whatever. But like, there's one song in particular in The Grinning Man that I'm just like freaking obsessed with, and it uses all the puppets, and it's just so cool. It's just like the show's unlike anything I've ever seen in my life, so I'm just so obsessed.
Do you get to? How do you listen to the music? Because I'm assuming it's not like on Spotify or like iTunes or stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
So
YouTube. I mean, we have YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it was on YouTube for a while, and then in June they streamed one of the productions they had at Bristol Old Vic before it transferred to the West End. It was, I mean, my mother can attest. Like, I was living my life watching that show. I was beside myself. But anyway, so that was one way to watch it. But now I'm like a little upset because they took off all of the recordings of the song, so I like can't listen to it. Yeah, so I'm like upset, but I did like.
We should go beat their ass.
Let's go to England.
So
not like we can because nobody wants us there, but like that's fine.
Well, no one wanted me in New York from Nebraska, so I mean, hey.
Incorrect.
I mean, like the travel plan, like New York doesn't want anyone to come here.
Oh, you mean like right now? I thought you meant like in general. I was like,
I have friends here, Liz. I'm still a big deal. Okay, you see how I connected that, and I have this weird thing I have to tell when I'm like, I'm proud of myself. I have to tell myself, I'm like, hey, look at that, Dustin. That. But it's part of my humor. So, Liz, you've kind of always wanted to move to New York City, right? Was New York City like by far you wanted to go there when you started studying theater in high school, or like were you doing theater in high school and then you're studying it in college? Was New York the number one place without any questions you wanted to go to?
Yes and no. I feel like in high school, like becoming an actor and truthfully, in high school when I applied to college, like I was an opera major, so I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like I was like, oh, I'm vocal performance, like I don't know. And then once I got to college and like started Wesleyan, I was like, Oh, and like shout out to Julia, because she was my freshman roommate and she was like, I'm musical theater. And I'm like, I kind of want to do that instead.
Yeah, Julia is the talent coordinator for the Drinks on Dusty podcast, and she hasn't done a damn thing. Yeah, she hasn't done a damn thing yet, so I haven't paid her yet. But
Love that.
hey.
I love you, Julia. Anyway, so like I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then sophomore year was like the first New York trip that Wesleyan did for like the seniors and juniors or whatever, and like everybody I guess that was going, like
my first New York, that has been brought up again. That was my first New York trip. That was my first New York trip, my first time on a plane. That has been like, we've talked about, it's just so funny.
That was your first time on a plane?
Liz, how'd you not know that? What's the biggest difference between living with, because you live with two of people that have been on the podcast, Chase and Joe now, and you've also lived with all girls, and I've only like lived with all boys or a mix or whatever. I've never lived with all girls, or I guess before. What's the biggest difference when you live with those?
The smell. No, I'm kidding.
The smell?
I think like, particularly in terms of theater, and this is also different because when I lived with all girls, it was in college where like the tension is just so high and we all were going after the same things. But I will say, like, when I did live in my first apartment up on 181st, or 180, whatever the hell street I lived on. Anyway,
yeah.
Way up in the Heights, Lin-Manuel's neighborhood.
Lin-Manuel.
We stand. There's like a weird, I feel like when it's people I know from college, there's a weird transfer of judgment and jealousy that goes into like, oh, how'd you do at that audition? Or like, I got a call back, I didn't get a call back. And even if you're supportive of that other person and you're like, I love you so much, I want you to succeed, I want you to get this, I want you to get that, there's still like, because of the environment that we were in college, like it was so toxic. Like I can't even describe to you, Dustin.
Do you want to talk about how toxic it was? And again, we don't
totally
have to put it in.
We can go right into it.
Go right into it.
I am forever grateful for everything that happened in college.
Yeah.
Right? Like made me the person I am today, taught me so much about myself, what I need, what I don't need, what I want, what I don't want, so on and so forth. But I also think college, okay. I think first of all, college.
I love when you get real, Liz. When you get real, it's my favorite thing. Continue.
You know when I am.
I love it. It's my favorite thing.
I feel like college pitted so many friends against each other in a way, and it's not just like only in where we went to school. I feel like that's just like.
I feel like in general,
theater colleges across the nation, this is an issue. Especially for girls, because there's just more of them.
I totally agree with I never felt like I dealt with that. Yes, Chug, babe. I never felt like I dealt with that. We both went to the college. I remember like hearing stories about you guys, and I think maybe it was the fact of you guys being. I never looked at y'all as similar types, but I like to rank shit, and I was like, this person's this. And I've told you to your face, you are the most talented girl I know, by far. It's the same way I tell Miles. Miles is the most talented guy I know. He's a little bitch.
Also, shout out to his mixtape.
Oh, yeah. We shout out. We talk. Yeah, it's fucking mixtape. Did you listen to my raps?
Yes.
I'm not getting enough love for my raps, okay?
I'll literally
the modern day Eminem. And
you're a big deal. You're just a big deal.
God, the people that don't understand that sarcasm part of it make me so, because at work one day I was at work and I was just being a sarcastic douchebag, and I had said, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to Kids Club, and this guy, like after whatever, like my manager at the time before I was a manager came up and was like, yeah, that guy hates you. I was like, why? Like, what you're talking about, I'm like, I was fucking kidding. I don't really think I'm whatever. But anyway, I think the competition factor is like a big thing with, I always feel not feeling bad. I never say things right, but feeling bad is not the way I want to say this, but it's, I think the competition is just this whole nother level when it comes to girls and in theater in general. And then when you go to like the same types in college or same types of thing, I personally literally never, my non-care factor was too high, but I never cared. There was never a role in college that I cared about, thought about getting. Literally all I cared about was drinking and talking to girls. I did not care. Senior year with, and this show gets brought up a lot too, In the Heights is the first time I ever was like, I want that. Granted, I'm 27 now, should never have done that. And I'm sorry for anyone if you've ever seen that. I apologize.
We are so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We are so sorry. And we, like you're talking about like the style of a show. I always kind of hated musical theater. And the only time the first time I understood it better was like, oh, there's a rapping musical. That's fucking awesome. And then that made me like certain musical theaters and shit. And then obsessed with Lin-Manuel. Has it gotten worse when you came to the city? How was it when you came to the city and the competition with, now you're not in Nebraska and you're not in that small field. You're in New York now with all the most talented theater people in the world.
Right.
How'd you deal with that? How'd you feel about everything when you first moved here with that?
Well, I will say, like, first of all, back in college or whatever, like, because there was just so few of us, it was easy to create, like, this is dramatic sounding, but it's like, it's easy to create a common enemy, right? Mm-hmm. So like one person is getting cast a lot, like whatever, that's our enemy. That's the person we don't like because they just get it and they don't quote unquote deserve it. Nobody deserves anything. Like, it is what it is. But regardless, like, that's the mentality you get, you know, and I've 100% fallen in that trap, and like, I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is.
But everyone, I mean, again, you were a 19, 20, 21 year old.
Yeah, we were young. We didn't know any better. Like, it is. Shit. Yeah. And then I will say as well, one thing I was going to add to that is, like, me personally, I avoided the female relationships in my life by just being in legitimate, like, just a relationship with another person, like a guy, because I think, like, part of me was trying to, like, suppress, like, I don't want to face these people. Like, I don't want to deal with these other people because I can't handle the drama. I can't handle, like, being scrutinized. Like, not scrutinized as in, like, performance, but, like, scrutinized as in, like, I just don't want to hear that negativity.
Well, so I mean, that's one of the reasons I've got along with you. This girl is literally not like any of those other people. And you don't have that kind of drama-filled mentality or mean girl attitude. You are a genuine, caring person. But we all have that. Fuck Adam Rice. I should have played fucking Javo Jean. Adam
Rice! Oh, man. Shout out to Adam Rice. I hope you're so good, dude.
No, he's a bitch.
I miss him, though. What a good guy.
I miss him, too. We just FaceTimed on two nights ago.
Oh, bless him.
But no, like, we all go through, like, I wanted to play Shylock, and I'm not right for that role. But I was so tired of playing the love character and the love interest or I just, like, I want to fucking do something different. And luckily, like, I had the Senate, like, when Miles got it, I was like, well, Miles is the most talented motherfucker right now, but I didn't think that way in college till a while. But I think the insecurities that all theater people have is always there. And granted, hopefully you mature enough when you're older and you actually turn into professional. But it's always in college, like, this is what you think your world is, and then you move into a big city that's actually, it's a whole nother different thing. Right. But everyone has that.
Right. And that's the thing about moving to New York. I will say, like, now that we're in, like, pandemic times, I have no idea how these mentalities will shift or change because things are just going to be so different. But, like, before, with open calls and especially dance calls, just because, like, the dance world is so competitive and, like, it's so, like, I'm not a dancer, so I'm not in that world. Like, I'm not here for it. I respect them and like they're fierce as fuck. But anyway, like especially for dance calls too, it was just this like tense, like who can outdance this person or like whatever. And not all of them were like that, but it was just like, it was like I was in college again, but amplified because these bitches have been hustling their asses off since the day that they popped out of the womb.
And
And I'm like,
you're not going like when you moved here, you were 22, 23?
I was 20. When I like pseudo moved here, I was 22.
Oh, okay.
Because I like kind of moved here in October of 2017. And then I just like sort of was here. And then I got booked on tour. And then I went on tour for 6 months, turned 23. And then.
Yeah. But when you go to those bigger calls, you're dealing with a 30-year-old woman that's been doing this for a 30-year-old woman, 30-year-old person that's been doing this has been doing the grind for 5-6 years. Like it's a whole nother thing.
Right.
I'd be ready.
It's funny, like those people I feel like are more, they're either like super jaded and like whatever about things, or they're like supportive. And it's the younger ones that are like still in college and like whatever, that are like the crazy, like I don't know. There are some chicks that I have seen at calls that I'm like, are you for real right now? Are you okay? Like, you don't seem okay.
Yeah, the New York acting call thing in New York City is just one of the weirdest and craziest things I've ever, my first year being here. You see some things and it's fucking nuts. Warning, Drinks on Dusty is not actually sponsored by Crown Royal at this time. Just letting everybody know they are not sponsored. Crown Royal has said nothing, and this is just Dustin talking about his favorite whiskey. Everybody, this podcast is brought to you by Crown Royal. Crown Royal is the greatest whiskey you've ever drinking in your life. If you like flavors, you like flavors in your drinks, you like flavors in your beers, well, look no further. Crown Royal has all the flavors. They have the Crown Apple. They have the regular Crown. They got the salted caramel. They got the peach. They got a bunch of shit. Crown Royal is the best whiskey that there has ever been. And if you sponsor me, Crown, I will buy all your Crown nonstop.
What?
I just did a fake paid promotion thing for Crown Royal because I've been emailing them trying to get a sponsorship with them.
Hey, do you remember I gave you that present? For your
that was
birthday.
legit. Any girl that I've ever been seeing, that is the best gift I ever got in my life.
The New York scene after coming to Nebraska, it was like, honestly, I had so many people be like, what was it like moving from Nebraska to here? And I'm like, yeah, it was fucking different. But like,
get the fuck over
it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm adaptable enough to be like, okay, this is going to be super different from the Midwest, but like, whatever, I'll just go with it. Who cares? Like,
I gotcha. I guess I
don't know.
personally, I was, freaked out when I came here. And I was like, nah, never. But I think me being in Chicago did help me personally, but also like, again, not the typical theater person. And I'm like, I don't even know what this shit is. But
well, I will say though that like, I did do competitive speaking in high school. So like,
you like speech or like
debate? Yeah. I did speech in high school, and my dad was my coach, and I did like theater type events or whatever. So like that mentality was already ingrained, and I was like, yeah, I'll fucking take a bitch down. Like, not really, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, this doesn't.
Have you ever been in a fight? Have you ever been in a fight, Liz?
No.
No.
I would fail so miserably.
You wouldn't have to deal with it, but
Dustin, you know me. I would not.
I know, but I just was like, maybe yes. I don't know.
I'm competitive, but I would not do well in a fight.
No, you got too many people that care about you. Like, I would literally just beat the shit out of that person if they tried to fight you. Like, all right, well, we're done.
Wait.
What?
Keep this or not? I don't care. Like, speaking of that, I distinctly remember a party in which I was getting yelled to shit outside of your apartment, and you came out. I always whenever I tell this story, I'm like, Dustin came out and like literally was trying to be like my hero in that moment because he was trying to be so nice and be like, listen, you're so wrong. You don't even know her, this girl, like whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't. I would try hard. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a. I don't know how to even say this, but like, it's a thing that I have with you. I have it with anyone that I'm close with, and it's very few people that I have. If that person is being hurt, but I don't see anything but red, and I go, okay, you're not going to do this. But granted, I couldn't hit her. I would never hit a woman. Never have, never will.
No,
But I will make sure nothing happens. I will do that, and I will do other tactics. But I'm not.
And I was afraid that something would happen. To be very honest, she was real close to me, and I was like,
I don't know if you want to talk about this, but you are moving out of New York City, and how are you feeling about that? How do you feel about you're leaving now? Do you think it's going to be a thing that you're going to continue? Like, I just don't want to be in New York anymore, or is it more just because of the pandemic and stuff?
It's 100% the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in terms of me moving back, because Chase is my roommate, we've talked about it a bunch. Like, what are your like, what do you think? Whatever. And me personally, like, as soon as I feel like I can, especially financially, support myself, and like, we'll see where the pandemic goes, whatever. Like, I'll be back. It's really not going to be anything that's like, moving home is so temporary in my eyes that I'm like,
gotcha.
I barely, like, me telling you, I haven't really told that many people, just because, and this 100%, like, I don't care who knows, but like, I haven't told that many people just because I'm like,
you don't feel like it's a big life decision. You feel like it's like, I'm gonna move back, whatever. Which honestly, if I was in your shoes or my lease was ending at this time, I would have been like, all right, fuck that, I'm going home for a while. Like, I think mine happened in June, and it was like, I don't even know what the fuck's happening, and it was like, I don't really want to leave New York, but like, it was just, it made more sense to just keep the apartment. But I think around, because your guys' lease ends
the end of this month.
Month, so it's literally just, I know for a fact I would have been like, I'm going back home. Like, I don't even care. I want to move back to Nebraska in June just because I have like so many fucking weddings I have to go back to. I'm like, all right, I'll just be here for a year.
Right.
Just
well,
a lot easier if I don't.
Honestly. And like, I knew, like, because when I was talking to my parents about it too, I was like, well, I know I'm going to want to be back for Christmas because I just like to be home for Christmas or whatever. And like, I don't fucking understand absentee ballot bullshit. So I was like, I just want to be home for voting. And like,
are you not registered in New York?
No, I'm Nebraska.
Okay.
My vote in New York, we're good. We good here.
We good here. But I mean, that's kind of how I like the way you're thinking, because I feel like the opposite about Nebraska was like, whatever I do ain't gonna fucking matter here. But your mindset is what we need to make a bigger change, which is But also, I'm older than you, and it was like I was 26 and I need a new driver's license. So I was like, well, I live in New York, so I might as well just change this whole shit now. It's fuck. God, I'm too old now, Liz, and I fucking hate it. And every time I say it, I'm like, Jesus, Dustin, what are you doing?
Listen, I just turned 25 this year, and I was like, I am deteriorating from the inside out, aren't I?
Do you feel behind in the sense with theater stuff with other people, like people that you know that aren't doing theater? Do you ever feel, I personally feel like behind in life, or like you should be doing something else, but because you're in theater, because we have to have a certain mindset with this business, you're like, I'm not focused on buying a house. I'm not focused on getting married. I'm not focused on having kids. I'm focused on trying to get this next audition or this next connection or whatever. Do you ever feel behind in that mindset or anything?
Absolutely. It's funny because I feel like behind in theater, and I also feel behind in like where, like, with family and like getting married and like so on and so forth, because like in theater, it feels like the age to get on Broadway is just like dropping so dramatically that I'm like, I'm 25 and these 18-year-olds, like, good on them, whatever, but like these 18, 19-year-olds are getting on Broadway, and I'm not even kind of close to there yet. So like, what the hell do I do? And then especially from where we grew up, like, there's so many people that already like are pregnant, have children, are married, have a house, and I'm like, I can't even afford rent most of the time. Like, what am I doing?
No, I mean, I mean, I've dealt with that for a while now too. Yeah, are you married yet, Dustin? I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm good. When your mindset in New York, have you focused, how scary has it been with you talking about like, I can't pay rent? Have you really focused more on like, I have to audition all the time? I kind of took a different path with like, I'm going to make sure I have money and do that for a while, which kind of hinders auditions for a bit sometimes. But have you did that kind of hurt your financial track or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, it was so hard because I got such a good gig at Element Music, and I was like set up really well there. Yeah.
And you had shows, you were doing things right when you came here. You also hit the ground running, and you also, before you came here, you had touring shows and stuff.
Yep. So like right before I moved, I got the national tour with Curious George or whatever, and then did that for 6 months, and then came back and then got a job. And I'll be honest, like once I got the job and like started having steady income come in, I was like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like having money, like to just like have. And even though I wasn't doing like well by any means, I was still making more money than like normal. So
yeah, and I think I personally believe that it's a mindset or whatever. I think that if you're not, there's a logical way to look at doing theater and having a job, and I think too many theater people don't think about it logically. The amount of times I paid for my friends' Metro cards for the week because they couldn't have it, which like I'm always happy to do, but it's the fact of like you have to think about the logistical side of it, but that doesn't hinder you going on auditions. If you make the time, it'll work and everything.
Right. And I think like something that I hope really changes within the industry as well is just this idea of like we have to give up our entire lives in order to make everything work. Yeah. Because I'm just like not here for, because I did this, like I didn't do a lot of things in order to save money, in order to like go on the auditions and also be able to get to work and also be able to like I didn't have a life for most of the time I was here. I feel like I just
feel like you didn't go out and experience things in New York as much.
Yeah, I mean, I also like had a boyfriend, so I was like, oh, I'll just like be with him all the time, whatever. And that was dumb. I mean, the first year and a half I was here, I just like dicked around with a boyfriend, which is fine, like whatever. But I feel like I could have done so much more had I not been in a relationship, especially right out of a different relationship. Yikes. And then 2, like, I don't know. I feel like in our industry, there's such an idea of like, you have to give away your firstborn child and like your every relationship you've ever had and like all of your money always.
All you should do is go to a call that starts at 5 a.m. and you should be there until 6 p.m. Even if you have no connection, you have no see, but you're trying. That doesn't. God, I have so much anger towards that bullshit.
It's not sustainable. Like it legitimately isn't sustainable, and it's stupid. In my mind, it's just stupid. Like totally telling somebody like, go, keep going, just keep going. I'm just like,
well, hey, why find out what you're good at. Like you said, you're not a dancer. Now, personally, I'm not a dancer, Liz. You be all right. Like you're like a very multi-faceted theater person. You are musically inclined to a degree that I can't fucking understand. You're a very good straight actor, and from straight acting meaning like in the terms of, let me give you some business terms, the very few that I know. It's like straight acting is like straight on plays and stuff. You're a very naturally good actor. So you have that going for you. You know how to do choreography. But I understand, like you saying, like dancing not your thing. It's the same thing to me. Like singing is not. I think I can carry a tune, but like I'm not gonna go to a Les Mis call. Why would I go to that? That's not my talent. Right. And I'm just all the big auditions and anything I've ever had in this city as I met somebody, and then that person connected me with that, and then they met me and they liked me, and then that connected me there.
Exactly.
Granted, didn't pan out all the time because, still here. But, you have those experiences and everything. Right. But I totally agree with you that it needs to change because it just isn't making fucking sense. It's just so stupid.
It doesn't. And like the blatant classism that exists, like I can't tell you how many times I've been to a call and I see all of these people with like these name brand super expensive shit, like the LaDuca shoes, the Lululemon clothing, whatever, and like so on and so forth. And I'm like, I am not saying that these people are, but like I am not a trust fund baby. I do not have like tons of funds to reap off of. My parents don't pay for everything. They help me out because they love me and like they can, which I'm eternally grateful.
They help you out when they can.
Exactly.
Also, I can't give you $100,000 right now. Like I can't.
Exactly. Like I can't pay for your apartment for a year. Like, yikes. It's maddening because I'm like, this industry cuts off the greatest talent that they can possibly have just because somebody can't afford to even like print off enough headshots.
Yeah.
Because that's expensive sometimes. To get headshots.
That's such a great point, Liz. It's literally like you're cutting off people that are so incredible, but because, well, I have to be able to pay rent. I have to be able to do this. I have to be able to take the subway. So I also have to have a stable job, but I can't just sit back. But I think there's the double-edged sword of that is I think that the true and amazing actors that figure it out are the ones that have that kind of grit that had to go through that and figure it.
Absolutely.
And hey, Nebraska's strong. We work harder than fucking everybody, and I'll say that. And then I'll fight you if you tell me I'm wrong. But then there's a Nebraska mindset that I think, and granted, I didn't live in the boondocks. I kind of wish I did. Definitely wish I did.
I don't know. Western Nebraska is weird.
But there's a mentality that I feel like I have that I wish I still have, that I'm kind of a country boy, but I'm not like I lived in the city or whatever, mm-hmm. But like, I think and I didn't have money to do, like I have had to work every day that I was able to work to afford to do the other things. Like I constantly had to do a job, but I think that I just fucking love Nebraska. And I think the Nebraska people's mindset, like yourselves, that someone is not given everything and then I'll figure it out. Like you got to work for it. And I think that there's something really special with that.
Yeah.
And that's really my speech to you, that you're better than all those other rich bitches.
Thank you.
They can fuck off.
But I agree. Like, I feel like the people that have to actually work for what they do, like, it's just more fulfilling than in the end result anyway. Like, I worked my ass off to get to this particular spot. So like,
yeah,
here I am.
And I don't have respect for people like, those people that sometimes when they came to New York and then they're like, well, yeah, I moved right out of college, and that their parents paid for everything when they got here. And that if I didn't have I maxed out every credit card I had to move to the city. And if I didn't have a job within 2 to 3 weeks, I was going to be fucked. Like, that's the scariness that I did. Don't max out your credit cards. That was stupid. I made it on an emotional dumbass decision. That was dumb. And now I'm older and I'm not depressed and I, make smarter decisions. But it's the hunger of like, I need to do this and this is the only way I have. And I'm putting everything on me. Mm-hmm. And then you make it work and you don't. I don't know how intelligent that was, but I never.
No, that was very intelligent. And like, I also like, I think that one misconception that our college in particular, like, kind of pushed, sort of not, like whatever, but just one misconception, especially in musical theater, is like New York City is not the end all. Like you don't have to be here and pay astronomical prices and like whatever. Like it is a great place for like accessibility to auditions, and like there's a bunch of different ones here, and like most of them are here, but like if you don't want to be here, don't freaking be here. Like I don't know, like there's so many people that I respect so much for saying like, yeah, I went, like my old roommates, Alex and Betsy. Shout out to Alex and Betsy. I love you so much.
Yeah, they've been shouted on this podcast too, and I fucking love it. I told a story about Alex Wolf on here, and I fucking love that guy. But yeah, shout out to those guys.
I love them so much. But like, I lived with them, and they tried it out. They lived here for like a year, and then they were like, "It's not our thing," and I'm like,
which is okay. Like,
yeah,
I think specifically talking about our college, but because I can only talk about ours, but like the mindset of like, oh, you didn't make it in New York, oh, you're a failure. Who the fuck said this life is stupid? This stupid auditioning, like that's dumb.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to not make financial security just so you could go do a monologue for 30 seconds and then maybe get it, maybe probably not. And then you didn't make any money that day. Like it doesn't make any sense. I was listening. So I just finished How to Get Away with Murder, that TV show, which is now like one of my top 5 favorite TV shows.
Top five.
Don't judge me, woman. Don't you? But I am in love with Viola Davis. She is. But as soon as I literally, I shit you not, finished that show this morning, and then I just was Googling How to Get Away with Murder and like watching panels and listening to that woman talk about the point I'm getting here is like, if you don't love the art, you have to love the art in the work. It's not about the fame. It's not about the money. It's not about that. If you don't love the creative process, the work that you have to put into it, the connection, the passion you put in, if you don't care about that, if that's not burning in your heart, this doesn't make any sense to do. Yeah. And if you don't have that, that's fine. That's fine to be like this. Literally less than 1% of the people you see on TV, the people that are on Broadway, that is literally not even Broadway. Broadway's not like as cushy of a theater stage gig it is. They're not making like millions of dollars.
No,
like
they're not.
But they're making good money in theater terms and everything. But it's the fact it's like, but oh, God damn it. Sometimes I go on tangents and I lose my point.
No, I love it.
But it was
you gotta work.
You have to love the work. You have to love what you're doing and not care about that kind of stuff. And that's the natural thing. And like Viola Davis just like preaches that. And she's just a fucking amazing fucking woman. And I just learned a lot from literally just listening to that today. I've been pretty amped about it all day long.
I love that. And like literally during this pandemic too, like, so I've been taking classes with, shout out to the Jen Waldman studio. It's changed my life with.
Is it a studio in New York, Liz?
It is. It's an online platform now, just because the brick and mortar, because of COVID, obviously they can't meet, whatever. Yeah. So I only know it on the online side, and it's been, even though it's online, it's been life-changing and like felt so personal, like personalized in a way. And like, it's made me fall in love with the performance, like with the art again.
You feel like sometimes you forget about that when you're doing the daily struggle. I think, again, to piggyback off you is the fact of like the COVID shit. Remember, like, I love being creative. I want to do this, put my heart into something, read a monologue and find the journeys of the character within that thing and going in depth with a thing. But I think we forget about that when we're doing the quote unquote grind.
Yeah. Oh, and then 100%.
Fuck this. No, not fuck this quarantine. Well, fuck this quarantine, but like, don't fuck this quarantine. You know what I mean? It's shown me it's shown me things about me that I was like, oh, Dusty, okay. figure it out or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's refocus myself, I guess is the best way to say it, is refocus myself.
Absolutely. Like, it's definitely this whole time, like, I've realized things that I really, truly adore about being a theater artist. And then other things that I'm like, to be honest, I actually just talked about this with people in that like studio and community the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want this industry to come back until these blatant, like, crazy problems are gone.
Yeah.
Like,
Because they're very apparent.
they're very apparent. They're not even trying to hide it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like the blatant racism, sexism, classism, like all of these issues. And like, I'm like, dudes, like, we preach that theater is so inclusive, and it is. It can be. And
but when you get to the bigger echelon of that, that's when it's not as inclusive.
Yeah, because it's all about making money. And I get it to an extent, like, you have to make money to keep it going, whatever. Cool. But like, I'm like, y'all, I don't need to see a film actor that I've seen in 10 movies on stage. I really don't need to see that. You know what I want to see? A new person that I've never fucking seen before go kill it as some random character in like a musical or a play. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is what's out there. That's me. That's me, an undiscovered actor on stage, getting their, like, shooting their shot for the first time. That's incredible.
Yeah. You're so right. It's just, it gets shut down, and it's fucking, like, give me someone fucking new. So do you get really upset when, like, I would assume, so like Finding Neverland was one of my favorite musicals because it was one of the first I ever saw here. Mm-hmm. Did you get upset like Matthew Morrison, the guy from Glee, was like in it? I think I never personally understand it. I understand it more years later. But was that something that like would make you mad? Like, what the fuck? Why is this guy? Granted, I think that I can't sing like that motherfucker, but
Matthew Morrison in particular, no, because he started in theater, right? Like,
he was in Hairspray, and
he was in Hairspray. He was in Light in the Piazza with my idol Kelly O'Hara.
Oh, is Kelly O'Hara your idol?
She is my.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's my idol. Her and Audra McDonald are like.
Why are they?
My Broadway Jesus. Like, I can't top them ever. But anyway, so Matthew Morrison in particular, like, I'm kind of like, yeah, like, he's a theater guy, you know, whatever. And then he got Glee and so on and so forth, and he transitioned. And I don't feel like there's a problem. Like, it's rude of me to say, like, film and TV people can't transition into theater. Like, that's rude, because theater people always transition into film and TV, and it's fine. Like, you can do both. Who cares? But I do have a problem when it feels like they're only putting in these people for the money. They're only putting in these people to keep the show running in order to keep creating revenue for the show. And I'm like, I don't care about seeing this person as, because they bill it that way too. If you notice the way that they advertise it, it's just like, this crazy famous person as this person in this show, whatever. And you're like, okay, whatever. But like,
the artistic part, or the artistic component of theater and stuff right now.
Wait, what? Yep.
Yeah, I just love that you were nodding, and then
I was like,
in my perfect version, I'm like, yeah, she's getting me, and then, what was up?
Yeah. You're doing so well.
You're doing really well. You're doing better than me, Liz. You're doing fucking great. Liz, do you hate being called Lizzie?
No.
I never called you Lizzie, but I just was wondering if you hated that.
I don't hate it. I welcome it.
Liz, Lizzie, do you have any other nicknames you get called?
Hell yes, I do.
What else?
My dad, and like, people called me this all the time in college too. I think Dalton Polivka especially called me this. More than my dad now, so like, whatever, Dalton. But Lizard was a nickname.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard that. Lizard? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I had a neighbor that called me Beth, but please don't.
Why do they call you Beth?
I don't know. It's really funny. Actually, my dad
just
told
didn't
me
know
this.
who the fuck you were, Liz. Why are you calling you Beth?
Well, it's so funny. My dad. So my dad named me, right, when I popped out and came into this world. He was like, "She's an Elizabeth, whatever," and I'm named after, like, my full name, Elizabeth Catherine, is Queen based. So my dad like named me after Queen Elizabeth, and then Catherine the Great, whatever. But my dad thought I was gonna be a Beth, and my mom looked at me as a baby and was like, "No, she's gonna be a Liz. There's no question."
That's a better. I was named after a song by Kansas called "Dust in the Wind."
No way.
So
I didn't know that.
My mom loved the song "Dust in the Wind" by Kansas.
So she just put dust in
together, and here we go.
Doesn't.
That's it. That's all it is. That's all. The Great British Bake Off. And I was watching YouTube videos about that today. Why do you love this show so much? Or why? And you also love baking in general, so you can talk about that too.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's like
honestly, when I first started watching
12, they told me I couldn't bake, and I just said no.
I told them I can't do it.
I can't do it.
No, like when I first started watching it. Okay.
This is the British Bake Off.
The British Bake Off. Okay. Yes, I just like.
This is the one with like Gordon Ramsay or.
No, right. It's totally based in England, in Somerset, I believe, England, and gorgeous area, like whatever, like I would kill to be there or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just all these people that are just, I think what I love about it is that they're all just normal fucking humans. Like graphic designers, stay-at-home moms or dads, or like what have you. They have completely different lives, but they're just like, I love to bake. Here we are. That's it. They're home bakers. And then they're all doing these crazy, insane challenges that I'm like, I could never do this if I fucking tried.
Have you tried have you tried to bake any of the things that you've seen on the show?
Well, I do have quite a few saved on a Pinterest board.
Oh, okay. What's your Pinterest board?
I
don't know how to use Pinterest at all, and I don't think I
use it. I don't think I use it correctly, to be quite honest with you. I just like save shit that I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
You just put it in your repertoire for later.
Yeah. And I think it's like there's this very specific way to use it. I don't get it, but like, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
There are a few recipes that I have 100% looked up and saved from that show. And just like, I'm obsessed with England, like 100% have thought about like moving there for like
honestly, same.
Who cares?
Same.
Like,
why not just like test it out? Mostly because my mentor, Eric Little, did his MFA there, but I've never been out of the country ever, which is Nebraska boy shit. But he gave me my passport. He gave me I don't have a passport, so I've never why would I? Whatever. But when he was there, he bought me like a passport holder with like the New England flag and not New England, Jesus fucking Christ.
The English, British flag, the Union Jack.
Yeah, with the Union Jack on it, with the British flag on it. And it just sits in my room. It's very nice, but I've never done that. But yeah, I would love to go to fucking England. I was like, that'd be fucking dope.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll move out of New York and I'll go to England.
Take me with you because
let's go to England.
Yes.
What the fuck not? What the fuck? Fuck it.
Listen, I 100% during this quarantine, like I've gotten so frustrated just like with America and the state that we're in, like whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I've 100% looked up British flats, like apartments there, because I've been like, where can I move? What can I do? Like maybe this will be better. I don't know. So I studied abroad in England for like a month between my junior year and senior year in the summer.
Oh, I had no idea you did that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it changed my life. Like,
yeah.
British theater, and like I went to the Royal Shakespeare Company, RSC, in Stratford upon Avon, where we mostly stayed, and then I saw stuff in Cambridge, and I think it was just Stratford, and then Cambridge is where we saw all of our shows, and it just like I've never been more inspired as a person. Oh my God. Like there was a production of Dr. Faustus, which isn't Shakespeare. It's Christopher Marlowe. And it's like, I've told so many fucking people about this show because I'm like, this show changed my life. Like, it's so good. It was so good. And like, I'd never seen a show that was so like well thought out and like well produced, and like everything just like made sense. And the whole show like also didn't have an intermission, so the tension build up to this one moment that just like released all of the tension, and then suddenly like everybody in my group was crying because we were all like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, what the fuck. Like it was,
holy shit,
it was I can't even, I yeah. So ever since then, I've been obsessed with England and like obsessed with Stratford upon Avon, and would go back in a heartbeat.
You made a comment earlier that I wanted to touch on. You said that you don't sing pop well or something, right? Am I right on that? Or
kind of, yeah.
You say it's not your talent. I just completely disagree with that. You can sing anything. You're an opera singer, which I don't know how that works, and you can sight read, which I don't know how that works. You naturally know how to carry a harmony, which again took like 3 rehearsals for me to get a harmony on one goddamn line. But literally remember
roll the clips.
There's no clips. There shouldn't be any clips because it was horrible. Joe was like, Dustin, you're not getting it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't fucking know. I know the raps. That's all I know. But I've always had a fear with musicals. And even to this day, like the couple of musicals I've been in part of, it was like kind of character things. I didn't have to, no. I didn't have to do that kind of shit or whatever. Mm-hmm. You naturally, I've listened to you. I've watched you just pick it up like natural. How do you do that? And also, how do you sing so good, girl?
I don't know. Yeah, what's funny is that you're saying like, I don't understand how you sing like the way that you do, but I sometimes, I don't want this to come off in a weird way, but like I sometimes like hear people that cannot sing at all or like can't hear music, and I'm like, I don't understand how you can't hear the music. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Is it because you're so trained in it? Because like I think I'm almost the polar opposite. It makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I can hear a tune. I don't think I'm tone deaf or whatever.
No, you're not.
But thanks. But like I also like naturally when someone's like singing and then you like, oh, like this, and then you do it like, yeah, that's right. Hit that note higher. I almost feel like it's a foreign language, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
It totally is a different language. That's the thing. I feel like singing and music is like a language in it of itself. And like, I don't know. I bet you there are some like crazy neurological brain studies about why people are musically inclined and like how those brains are just like naturally developed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's genetics. I don't know if it's like whatever. I do know for sure that, funny enough, one of my like great something rather, I don't know how many greats, was an Italian opera singer. Ooh. Like way back. I don't know when. My dad just told me that randomly when I was a kid. I don't know. It's just so interesting to me because I don't know if it's just like the synapses. What?
Did you do a lot of studying of music growing up?
No.
Like knowing chords or whatever. Like, I'm literally going to sound like a moron. So you didn't do that.
I mean, I started piano when I was 11, and I did that until I was like, I studied piano for like a while, and then I like dabbled with it again in college, but then like didn't really like do too much with the classes or whatever.
I remember the green room we had. I remember one day I was walking with Miles, and obviously, again, I've complimented you enough. But I was walking by and you were playing piano for somebody. And I go, she can play piano too? Jesus fuck Christ. All I could do is semi-act. That's all I got.
No, I can like plunk. I can read music is what it is. I can read music. So like when I look at something, I can be like, oh, okay, I get the general idea of what this is trying to say. I will say though that this is a shout out to Ellie Thompson. God bless that woman, because time signatures, like when something's in a different rhythm, unless it's like simple, it's beyond me. So during Into the Woods, my senior year and Ellie's junior year, she was our like assistant music director, and she helped me, and I still didn't get it right because I'm a fucking idiot, but like it was just the end of Cinderella's song on the steps of the palace, and I was like, I don't know how to do this, and Ellie was like, literally, Liz, it's not that hard, and I was like, okay, great, but I could never get it.
You figured it out. You're not doing it, and I would have taken a 1/8 of that if I could. Your idea of not doing it, I would have been like, yeah, I'll take some of that. I'll take some of that if I can. But that's crazy. So do you consider yourself an opera singer? And what's the biggest difference between being an opera singer and a musical theater singer?
Yeah. I don't consider myself an opera singer anymore, especially just because I kind of focused on getting away from that because of the marketability of having a contemporary pop voice is just better as a musical theater performer. Like being able to do the legit stuff like Les Mis and like Phantom and like whatever is great. But then also like having the flexibility of your voice to do like some more belty stuff is better. So when you're fully like engulfed in the opera world, it's all like a very specific technique of singing, which can transfer over and should transfer over into musical theater. But it's just like, okay, so like, let's say singing was the country of England or the continent of England, right?
Okay.
And then
give me some visuals. I'm better with visuals.
Yes, I got you.
You got me.
And opera singing was London, and then musical theater was Liverpool. So like,
I forgot I didn't know much about geography.
Okay, great. So like maybe like,
but I get what you're saying. But I immediately was like, Liverpool is where
the dialect. The dialect.
I'm not that dumb. I gotcha. I can follow along with the story. But yeah, no, continue, please.
But like, yeah, so like opera singing is like very proper. It's very like an open way to sing, right? And it's stunning when somebody does it really, really well.
Oh, for sure.
And musical theater is kind of like Cockney or like the Liverpool dialect, where it's like sort of quote unquote, and like maybe people from England will condemn me for saying this, but like the poor man's way of singing, it's just like opera is like the heightened version. It's like the Shakespeare of singing. And then musical theater is like the contemporary version of that. So
that was a really good analogy, and you should host this podcast because that was better than anything. But I'm literally like, oh, okay. Because I always just singing. I don't get it. Anytime I think I'm singing good and I record myself, I'm like, nope, didn't get that there, did you, buddy?
Bet it's better than you think it is too.
Yeah. You know, I think the first time I ever sang in front of our theater was, what did I sing? It was from Hairspray. It Takes Two. It was for the In the Heights.
I knew that was gonna be it.
It's just basic bullshit. But someone's like, well, I guess you. I think Alex Flint. Shout out to Alex Flint. But he goes, I was talking to him, and I was like, well, I know all the raps for In the Heights, but I don't have like a singy song to show that I can at least semi carry a tune. He's like, well, what musicals do you know songs to? I'm like, I know Hairspray really well. He's like, what? Like, yeah, I know that. I like already have It Takes Two memorized. We worked on that.
I will say for wedding singer auditions, way back in the day, I auditioned, speaking of rap, I auditioned with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap.
You did?
Oh.
That's a baller move. That's one of my favorite shows ever. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and Sarah Makota, my best friend, shout out to Sarah Makota. I love her so much. She was my beatbox.
She came in and beatboxed for you?
Oh yeah, she auditioned. So she
God, your auditions were way cooler than mine were. Fuck.
Just that one though, literally just that one. She auditioned and then she came out and then it was my turn. We auditioned right back to back or whatever. I like came out whatever, dirt, and like got in front of Jack and Joan, blah blah blah. And then I was like, I have a guest that I want to bring in. And then Sarah Makota came out of the freaking splay and started beatboxing. And then I did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap.
That's fucking awesome. And I think that also leads your I don't know what type you fall under. And I know that in theater we talk about in acting, we talk about types and everything. Mm-hmm. I personally, about you, I feel like you can play literally any type. You can play the ingenue, you can play the character funny person, you can play the girl next door, you can play someone that sings some high note for 25 fucking minutes straight or some shit like that. Do you classify yourself as a certain type, or do you struggle with that at all?
Honestly, like since taking these classes with the studio and the community that I'm in, like I'm kind of like, type is a bullshit idea, and I think it's a bullshit.
Totally agree with that.
And basic way of putting people into compartments that they don't necessarily belong. Because, like you said, like maybe I could be the girl next door, but maybe I could be the quirky best friend for something else. Like, and it's the same with you. You could be this person, but you could also be something totally different, and like who's to say?
What is voicey?
Oh my god.
Because you put this on and I was like, what? I still don't know what it is. So I'm literally just gonna go, what is that? Because it seemed like something you really were into. So I want to know what it is.
So I have a couple, I think I only posted one. Yeah, I think I only posted one on my Instagram. It's like the premise of the app, right, is for much more talented people than I musically, but basically you like take a beat that somebody's created, right? Like any sort of like musical beat, phrase, like without words or anything. And then you can put your own words, your own like cover to a song and just like put your own spin on it, right? So I did one with Finishing the Hat from Sunday in the Park with George, and that's on my Instagram. And I like, after I did that and I was able to hear, I got the idea from a super talented artist that I follow on Instagram, and I know through a mutual friend of ours, James Hamrick. Anyway, so I met her through that or whatever, and she's incredibly talented recording artist. And she like posted a bunch of them on Instagram, and I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can figure this out. So when I was back home in Nebraska during like major lockdown, in like March and April or whatever, I was like, I'll try this out. And basically like me personally, I do like only covers. I've done like one original thing, and I'm like, I don't write music. I don't get it. I don't my mind doesn't.
Here's what's up. Here's my idea. I'm
Lyrics?
gonna pitch this to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna write a rap.
Okay.
You sing the chorus.
I would do it. I would do that for you. So the app is just like super cool to like connect with other artists that are creating different beats for things, and like
And then you said your friend started this app?
No. She just like does I just know her. She's like more of an acquaintance.
Okay.
She just does a bunch of them and she's super good. And so I was like, maybe I can figure this out. Like, I don't know. I thought it would be really hard, but I just end up, all I do is just like take a song that I know really well. Like I've done Finishing the Half from Sunday in the Park with George. I did a cover of A Whole New World from Aladdin and just like fuck it up. I've done Journey to the Past from Anastasia. Like it's just like random songs. Amazing. It's
great.
So cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like if I can hear a song in my head that can kind of go with the beat, I'm just like, okay, how can I like re-envision this melody to fit within this other musical like medium and this other like way that it sounds, and then like how can I reshape it and then make it into something different.
That's fucking amazing. It's gonna download that app now just to hear you sing A Whole New World. That's exactly the reason I'm gonna do that.
It's time for Rapid Shots.
All right, so I'm gonna read you 10 questions that I've written for you, personalized for you.
Okay.
And you give me your questions as fast as you can. And like usual, if we go on a tangent, we go on a tangent because it's happened every time. But if we don't, we'll see if you're the first one that ever makes it through without going on a tangent. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Are you ready, Liz?
I'm ready.
Don't fuck it up.
Okay. I'll try.
All right. What's your favorite thing to bake?
Bake?
Yeah, bake. I thought I saw that pretty clear.
Okay. Well.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to bake?
Okay.
What's your favorite thing to bake, Liz?
Probably banana chocolate chip bread, but that's probably going to change because fall is coming, so it's probably going to be anything pumpkin.
Anything? Damn. Basic. What Disney movie describes your life the most?
Oh my gosh, that's hard.
See, this is why I like this segment, because I like coming up with questions that people are like, what the fuck?
Ooh. Wow. Because my Disney princess, like, self-proclaimed is Belle.
So your Disney princess is Belle, but you wouldn't think that's the best one that describes you?
I guess it is kind of like Beauty and the Beast would make sense because
you're the Beast.
I'm the Beast. Sure. Let's go with that one. I'm just going to say that one. Or maybe yeah, no. Or wait. Maybe Inside Out is me.
See, I could see that. Yeah. I think I had one in my head that I was trying to, and I just lost it. Frozen. What the fuck's her name? Anna.
You think I'm Anna?
Yeah, I would definitely say you're an Anna. Like,
God bless you.
Fun, quirky. Yeah, I'm pretty cool. All right, would you rather have a pet turtle or a pet bunny?
Bunny. Oh, God damn it. Bunny.
Not turtle, because I specifically posted this because of your fucking Instagram. You talk about your turtle.
I love turtles, but honestly, like having the upkeep of like the crap that you need for it versus like a bunny. My ex had a bunny before it like passed away, but like he had a bunny and I was like, oh, this is cute, and it just like roamed around. But I will say between the two, like I probably would never get those pets because they're like a bunny is disgusting. They're gross. And my spirit animal is a bunny.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. I'm a rabbit.
A turtle over a bunny?
No, I would probably do a bunny over a turtle just because it's fluffy.
Okay. Did you just switch that? You said turtle at first, didn't you?
No. I said,
okay.
Turtle, but then I was like, no, bunny. Bunny is it.
Okay, all right. All right. What was your first impression of me when you met me?
Cute guy.
That's right, everybody. All right, if you could only watch one musical for the rest of your life, what would it be?
The Grinning Man.
Ooh, okay. Favorite type of ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip, or there's a place in New York City, several places like in Brooklyn and Manhattan called Levan Lewins. And they have like a strawberry cookie crumble, and it's vegan, which is cool. But it's delicious.
I didn't talk about your vegan shit. God damn it.
I'm not really a vegan, but it's
Well, yeah, you said you gave up because it was like it's too many things or whatever.
I don't get it. I'm just like,
I don't get it.
when I started to bake and I was like, what's vegan baking? I was like, this is expensive and difficult. Fuck it. Like, I'm gonna use eggs, people. I don't care.
Get out of my life.
Out of here.
I don't want to do this. Use real flour. I'm gonna use eggs. I'm gonna eat a hamburger. Get out of my life. Who would you want to play you in a movie about your life?
Zoe Deschanel.
Oh, that's such a good fucking choice. Oh, that's such a good choice. If you could live in any time period, but not this time period, what time period would you live in?
1940s.
Why?
I love the fashion. I just love the time period. I've always loved it.
I think I would live in the Greek times.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think I'm a badass. Probably not, but I think for some reason I just want to have a bow and a sword, and this is definitely probably idealized, like watching movies of it. And
Whatever.
Like, this is cool. And then I text somebody on my phone to get me a sandwich from my bodega. But
it'd also be cool to live in like Shakespeare times.
Yeah,
like,
but I think Greek mythology has always been like a thing that I fucking love and just am so interested with.
Why didn't I know that?
Because for some reason, I'm a weirdo that just drinks beer and fucking but yeah, it's
he drinks Coors Light. It's fine.
Now Busch Light, I changed. If you watched my whole,
I mean, I see that, but like I associate you with Coors Light.
Yeah, you should. I think actually it's weird because I think sometimes I feel like this. I always am like the person that's like, I don't want to feel like I'm not. Oh yeah, you're all smarter than me or whatever. And I don't kind of show my like interests that are outside of the norm that people see me in. I think, and I'm starting the couple years. I've started to be like, yeah, I really like this, and I'm into that or whatever. But yeah, Greek mythology is like a huge thing to me. I like read stories about it throughout my days and everything. And I like, I remember one day I was with Jack and we were talking about, I don't even know. It was like Greek tragedy was like the topic that week or whatever. And I decided to like, he started talking about, I don't remember specifically, but I remember he got like a Greek god wrong or something about what they said for her. And I don't ever talk in class sometimes unless I'm making a joke, whatever. But I was like, no, that's actually not right. This is this and this. He looked at me. He's like, what the fuck? But I was like, yeah, that's the one thing I know about for some reason. Don't know why. What is something you're scared of, Liz?
Ooh. Loss and abandonment. Let's just get really real.
I mean, yes. I'm afraid of being alone for the rest of my life, so I got you.
Yeah.
I'm also afraid of cats.
Okay.
Yep, cats scare the fuck out of me.
Spiders scare me.
Yeah. Who's your favorite country singer?
Shania Twain.
I kind of forgot if you like country.
I am not very into country, but I did watch your one Instagram story where you went off about country.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. Like, I resonate with this. Like, that's okay.
So this is the Drinks on Dusty episode with my girl, Liz. Liz, do you have anything you want to plug, talk about, or anything like that?
Where
they can find you on social media, You can look at her beautiful pictures and her videos and her singing songs and stuff.
Yeah, you can find me at officially_Liz55. He introduced me with my legal name, and my stage name is Liz Martelli, which is fine. And that's cool. You can find me with Liz Martelli on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, literally anything you want. And I will probably respond most likely.
Thanks everybody for listening to the episode. Appreciate the support. Keep being badasses. Liz, I fucking adore you. You know I adore you. You're Liz. That's it. You're a badass. Keep kicking ass. All right, everybody. Peace out. Love each other. Black Lives Matter, and quit being a dipshit in the world. All right, everybody.